Hi folks, this is all the fruit, and a couple days ago we obtained a calabash or miracle fruit. We are here in Germany, so those are not so easy to obtain in their fresh state, but we still manage. They are not too difficult to grow in greenhouses and botanic gardens around here. The one we got is a bit on the small side, still unripe. This is good. And the question is now, I guess it already started bleeding. The question is now, what we gonna do with it? And the uses for this thing are countless. We don't even know exactly where it comes from because it was cultivated in the Americas since pre-Columbian times. It's a tropical to subtropical fruit, so it's grown from the south of Mexico to the north of Argentina, pretty much in all of the tropical Americas. Although they don't seem to be big plantations, it's more or less a coastal plant that can tolerate drought, wind, mistreatment, and so it doesn't like cold. And yeah, it's being cultivated for its myriad uses. The most important use is, of course, as the name already says it, as a calabash. With this, well, it shares this name with a plant which is not closely related to it, with the bottle gourd. The bottle gourd is also called calabash. They are not closely related. The calabash tree is in the Bignoniaceae, while the calabash vine is in the Cucurbitaceae. And both produce fruits which can be used to make all sorts of containers. The shell is extremely hard. Also, while the shell is still soft while it's growing, you can press it together with strings, with other things, and shape it into different shapes. However, usually those are being used in their round shape. The bottle gourds from the Cucurbitaceae, a lot of them have been bred into bottle shapes, like you have a thick body and then a constricted neck and then a widened upper part so that you can tie them to ropes. Not so much with those here. So using them for a lot of those uses, for bottles, for bowls, for big ladles, for maracas, of course. But this is by far not the only use of the plant. The wood is hard and heavy, and it is being used a lot for tool handles, yokes for oxen or horses, for stirrups. You only use really high quality wood for this, although it doesn't seem to be too durable. Well, I don't know, you also want durable wood for those things. It's also used as a firewood. It's usually not of huge dimensions, but it's still used in construction, in building. Also, a lot of parts of this plant are being eaten, despite most of them being considered toxic. The leaves are sometimes cooked in soups. The seeds can be eaten when cooked. They can be made into beverages, into syrups, into confections, but always with the boiled seeds. Also, the roasted seeds, together with roasted wheat, seem to make quite a good coffee substitute. Basically, everything that's burned slightly can make a coffee substitute, but this is being supposed to be aromatic and flavorful. Well, and the young fruit is occasionally pickled, considered equal to pickled walnuts. It is pickled despite the fact that it's actually toxic. Also, the seeds are toxic when unripe. And then there are tons and tons and tons and tons of medicinal uses for this thing, which I'm not gonna list all because I'm trying to stay away from giving medicinal advice. You can basically check it up yourself. One important medicinal use I want to try is, well, not just want to try, I've done it a couple times already, is making a cough syrup from the flesh inside. Also, I want to try a small piece of the raw fruit because I saw that in the tropics, some people who make the syrup also eat just a small bite of the, remember, toxic flesh. But before this, I want to show you how it's possible to decorate it. If you see here, probably this fell on the ground. We found it on the ground and it got scratched. And those scratches, they are permanent. So now what we are gonna do, we're gonna hand my beautiful but camera shy assistant a knife and let her mistreat this fruit. I think she's going to make a smiley. Oh, also don't carve the upper part because we want to sew it. Like, don't carve much higher than this. As you can see, well, as you can see, you cannot see much. Continue. I think she has evoked some ancient Aztec idol. Look at the hate coming from those eyes. I really had to force her to do this, but yeah, I was not disappointed. Okay, I think I have to try my luck too. She has used the best part. The other parts are all scratched up, but let's see if I can do a scary Caribbean predator. Oops, already slipped. It is thought that it probably originated in the Caribbean. So I think a shark is only fitting. Okay, I messed up the eye. I also messed up the teeth. Okay, cut. For the next step, we have to cut it in half. And since it's basically too hard for normal knives, a machete or an axe would just break it. For this, we use a saw. You already noticed this stuff. It's much harder than wood. Definitely harder than wood. Oh, pity this is a completely new saw. And already this smell comes out. The smell of poison. Tell me what it smells of. It's totally a bit Nonieshi smell. What does it smell of? Of poison, right?
Yeah.
And no, she's saying it like an order to say. Tell me what you think it smells of. Trepanation. This is a skull operation which was done since ancient times. The Egyptians did it 5,000 years ago. The Scandinavians 9,000 years ago. Even the Neanderthals did it. Although it might be a case of cannibalism. But a lot of those people who got holes sawed and chiseled into their skull survived. So I guess our idol will survive too. Now we expose the inside of the skull. Smell this. What is this smell? Poison. Vile poison, right? Oh my god. Okay, cut. Now let's try it. Remember, folks, this fruit is toxic, and I've seen some people eat small pieces of it, which seems to be considered good for your health, but of course you never know. Okay, if she survives, I'll try it. How is it? It's mostly sweet. My eyes are up here. Stop filming my boobs. It's mostly sweet, but also with some really chemical, medicinal poison taste, and the aftertaste is quite bitter. So now that we ate a bit of it, we're gonna process the rest. You take a spoon and scoop out the flesh. The flesh turns black right now, well, blackish purplish right now. It's just starting. You see, some parts are getting kind of brownish, but most of it is still pretty whitish. But that's gonna change. We want to get every single piece of the flesh inside in order to use the finished product as a container. Scraping it out. Can be quite a bit of work. But it needs to be done. I think those pieces are too big for what I'm planning with them. So I'm cutting them to smaller ones. Next, you put the pieces into a casserole without water. Soon it's boiling away nicely, emitting quite a nice foody flavor and turning black. You just reduce the heat a little bit. Meanwhile, my beautiful but camera shy assistants try to scrape out everything from the inside of the fruit. and failed. I've never seen a calabash like this. Usually everything comes out quite nicely, but here a lot of it is very hard and sticks to the rind. I think maybe this is because this got injured a lot and dropped on the ground. Look at this. Do you see all this? The inside should be smooth and clean. Ah, the idol, the vengeful eyes of the idol. Sharky. Are you supposed to stir this stuff? Also the no water part, I don't know, man. I think the no water part is not a good idea, to be honest. And so I'm adding just a little bit. Hope I didn't destroy the recipe now. After boiling and cooling off, it looks it looks almost like burnt, but no, it's not burnt. There is still water in there. So now the next step is to put it to a strainer. This is not draining enough. Does this even help? The next morning, the syrup has gone all through the sieve. You're supposed to put it in the refrigerator. It's supposed to be better refrigerated, but I guess that goes for tropical South America. Here it's cold enough right now. Cheers, dude. Still smells of poison. Still tastes of poison, but not so strong. It's kinda sour and bitter and a little bit sweet. I think this fruit was too unripe. I've made it before and it was more sweet. Yeah, bitter, sour, a bit sweet. Tasting of poison. Not too bad. You might call it an acquired taste, but it's, totally drinkable. So folks, this was syrup as well as an idol from Miracle Fruit or Calabash. Stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful and incredibly fruit-rich German greenhouses. And of course, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe.